The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello there, and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jamison Rabbit. This guy right here, you know him. It's my old partner here, Steve Sabatke. Welcome back, sir, to June's episode of Real Reviews.
Happy first day of summer.
It is, isn't it? Feels like it, too.
Well, it feels like summer is almost half over because of all these blockbuster movies
we've
already seen.
We are knee-deep into summer blockbusters, and the summer has just begun.
And there's more to come,
I love it. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of movies. This episode, we've got a ton of films, blockbuster and non-blockbuster alike. We got a little something for everybody. Something for the kids, something for the adults. And so stick around. We've got a big show for you as we talk about the movies we've seen in the end of May, beginning of June. And why don't we go ahead and get it started right here with what I would consider a big summer blockbuster franchise.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's the first movie we have. It's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the eighth and maybe final film. Oh, there he is. The eighth and maybe final film in this long-running franchise that's been going on for 29 years. It's crazy. We bring back longtime Tom Cruise collaborator, director Christopher McQuarrie to direct this one. Of course, Tom Cruise is back in it. Oh, hi there. Tom Cruise back as Ethan Hunt, and we pick up after the events of Dead Reckoning. The entity, the AI entity, is still the item up for grabs to control governments around the world, and Gabriel, played by S.A. Morales, always seems to be one step ahead of Ethan and his team. And every adventure is for the biggest stakes in this franchise, but this time, someone could die, Steve. Maybe even again. And so the question is, can IMF shut down the entity before it's too late? Can Ethan deal with the ghost from his past? This film is filled with a lot of flashbacks to earlier films in the franchise. Some of them it felt like were to serve the story and tie things back kind of surprisingly heavily with number 3. The third Mission Impossible begin to play here. But some I felt more like homages, like, remember this? Remember how much fun we had over the last 30 years with these? And lots of exposition for people who may not have gone back and rewatched the whole franchise. Lots of reminding you of what's going on. But I don't know. For me, these movies I feel like the definition of summer blockbuster. And I think Tom Cruise is great in this.
Well, I mean, whatever you may feel about him, he knows how to put on a great show.
Yeah.
And he did it again here.
Right.
I mean, you and I reviewed Dead Reckoning Part 1 2 years ago.
Crazy.
And at that time I said each film in the series has been better than the one before it. I thought Dead Reckoning was the best film in the series.
Sure.
I don't feel this way about Final Reckoning. I mean, it's very good, but I thought Dead Reckoning was much better in terms of stunts, the action sequences. There's more humor in the first movie. Not the first Mission Impossible, but in Dead Reckoning. Haley Atwell, who played one of my favorite characters in the movies, I thought she had more to do in the first movie.
Yeah.
This new film seems to drag a little bit more than the first. I mean, my biggest criticism of this film, and I'm going to be Captain Obvious here, is this is pretty much, because maybe it's the final one, this is pretty much Tom Cruise all the time, every time.
Yeah, I think he's basically on screen.
Yeah, and the supporting characters are pretty much kind of relegated to the background.
Yeah, I mean, the character of Grace is kind of pushed off to the side. We do introduce some new pieces, and Shea Wiggum plays a surprisingly large role in this, which I wasn't expecting.
In this one?
Yeah,
I thought he played more of a large role in the other one.
Well, the first one he's kind of just running around yelling, "Hunt, hunt, slow down." And this one, his character had a reason for being that. The Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg, part of his team, they get a nice little warm and fuzzy moments with them. But yeah, they didn't have a ton to do. And Haley Atwell felt like she was spending the final third of the movie just waiting to grab a memory stick or whatever the thing was, waiting for the light to come on. I love this franchise quite a bit. I agree with you. I think Dead Reckoning was if not my favorite, one of my couple favorites of the franchise. This one was really good. It didn't surpass what I thought of Dead Reckoning. I think the stunts are really cool, amazing set pieces. I'm really thankful. I mean, you've seen all the stunts that happen in this movie. Really thankful that Gabriel, the villain, made sure to bring a spare biplane and then tell Ethan Hunt, I brought a spare biplane in case we needed to do some stunts up in the air today. My favorite kind of set piece, though, surprisingly, was the underwater scene. There's a long underwater stretch where there's no dialogue. Nothing's blowing up, nothing, and I actually enjoyed that. I thought that built the most tension.
Yeah, it was very
movie
effective.
To me.
Yeah, I mean, Asai Morales is the villain. I didn't think he was real effective in the first one, and I just think that continued here.
He's kind of a mustache twirling, like Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah.
Catch me now.
And if this film is truly the final film of the series, I kind of wished it would have been more final. I mean, if that makes any sense. I wanted to see some sentimental finality to the ending of this, and I was disappointed when it didn't happen. The ending just kind of gave me the impression of, well, we may come back for another installment.
That's classic Tom Cruise, though.
Well,
He's like,
and he said he was going to keep doing this
hang
until
on,
he
I'll
turned
be back
Harrison
when I'm
Ford's
90.
age.
Yeah. Then he could just wear a Tom Cruise mask, Mission Impossible style, over his own face.
Yeah, I just thought, if this is going to be it, they brought back a character from the very first Mission Impossible, which I thought was kind of neat. But I thought, if this is going to be the end, let's treat it more like that. But they didn't do that.
I did appreciate it when it was just shy of 3 hours. I didn't really feel the runtime in this one.
Well, I mean, this one's, I think it was only 7 minutes longer than the other one.
Yeah.
So
a lot more action in Dead Reckoning.
There was.
And the character, Vanessa Kirby's character in Dead Reckoning, I really enjoyed. I thought she was great, especially in a dual role. Palm Clementif.
Well, I wanted to see more of her, and she
Yeah.
was, again, one of those supporting characters in the background.
I agree. All right, what did you end up giving Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning?
Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I love this series. I think it's a great series. This movie, it's good, but it's not the best and not as good as the last one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I still really enjoyed it. I was hoping for the big bang, and I got a good-sized bang, and so I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Yeah, still worth checking out. Man, I got a big head. Look at that guy. Wow. All right, let's move on to what else we have. We have one of our animated features. Sir, what do we have?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Lilo and Stitch, directed by Dean Fleischer Camp, who directed Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. This is a combination live-action animated remake of the Disney animated film Lilo and Stitch, which came out 23 years ago in 2002. And the movie starts on planet Turo. Dr. Jumba Jakuba is being convicted by the United Galactic Federation for creating Experiment 626, who is Stitch. He's an aggressive, near indestructible creature. He's got advanced learning capabilities. They exile 626, but he escapes custody, steals a spaceship, and he takes it to Earth and lands on Kauai in Hawaii. And first thing he does when he gets on Earth is he literally crashes and destroys a wedding reception, and he ends up in an animal shelter. And there he meets Lilo, a Hawaiian girl who lives rather tenuously with her sister Nani, who are watched closely by a social worker played by Tia Carrera, who voiced Nani in the original film.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And Lilo just wants a friend, and Stitch poses as a dog to get adopted by her and be protected from the clutches of Dr. Jakuba and Agent Pleakley, who come to Earth to capture him. They take on a human form to blend in, and they're played by Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson. And from this point forward, chaos pretty much ensues. I mean, the word of the day for this remake is cute. It is overly cute. There's an abundance of cuteness coming from Lilo, played by Maya Kiloha.
They nailed it.
And also from Stitch, who looks very, very real, and is voiced by Chris Sanders, who co-directed the original film and also provided the voice of Stitch in the original. I know you've seen all the Disney live-action remakes.
Yeah.
I haven't. I've
You're
seen
fine.
some. I've seen
They're mostly
some
terrible.
of them. You know, but of the ones I have seen, I thought this one was probably the best of the bunch.
Yeah, I mean, that's damning with faint praise because they're pretty much unremarkable to terrible. I had zero attachment to the original.
Did you really?
I saw it once, like long time ago. Don't remember hardly anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember taking my daughter, who was 11 at the time, to see it in the theater, and we both loved it.
Yeah,
but
I have
we
a
never
memory
watched
of-
it since.
I have a memory of watching it when one of my kids was little and kind of probably looking at my phone while I was watching it. And so I had zero attachment to this. And so as much as I'm not a fan of these live action remakes of animated films, this one was tolerable to me.
Okay.
The girl who played Lilo is sweet.
I thought I was the grumpy half of the duo.
But I'm just, I'm always left asking myself, what's the point of these? What's the point of remaking this movie?
Money.
It's it, man. Like, it's inoffensive. It doesn't look particularly great. Like, I was kind of taken aback by it's supposed to be in this paradise location, and the paradise location looked kind of plain to me. I don't know. It didn't stand out.
Yeah.
The one thing I really did like, it was the handling of the Lilo and Nani story, and how the threat of CPS coming in to take Lilo and that stress. Like, wow, okay, that was handled really well. I took my 12-year-old daughter to this. She loved it. She had a great time. She's more of the target audience than I was. We had a few laughs with Stitch. She tells me that they changed a few things in the story. I wasn't interested enough to rewatch the original.
If you Google that, you're going to see tons of comments about it and
Yeah.
a lot of backlash about changes. I mean, it didn't bother me. I mean, I had to read about them to figure out what they were.
Yeah.
But, I mean, after 23 years, I wasn't really bothered by it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't either. She was trying to explain something to me, and I kind of glassed over. Oh, okay.
Did your eyes get a little wet towards the end?
Yeah, of course, because I'm a big softie. Yeah, it was fine. And yeah, like you said, Stitch looked good. But funny enough, the one thing that my daughter laughed the most about, and when we walked out of the movie, she said her favorite part was a very throwaway moment when they're at a surfing competition or something surfing, and there's a little pug on a surfboard.
Yeah.
My daughter couldn't stop talking about that. How great that was, seeing that pug on the surfboard.
Well, that's what you have for a dog, right?
No, we do. We
Oh,
have a
okay.
little Frenchie guy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that was her favorite thing. I was like, oh yeah, that was like 4
Yeah,
seconds of a
it's
movie.
in a brief moment.
All right, what did you end up giving Lilo and Stitch?
I gave it 3 stars. I mean, I thought it was cute. I enjoyed it.
I don't remember what I gave it. I know what I want to give it, but I don't remember what I officially turned in. What does that say?
3.
Yeah, make that a 2.5.
As we're both
It's a-
leaning forward to see it on the
It
screen.
feels like it's more of a 2.5 movie in my review. It's fine. All right, let's move on to something very decidedly different from Lilo and Stitch. I've got a review of the new film Ballerina from the world of John Wick from director Len Wiseman. This is the 5th installment in the John Wick universe. Eve, played by Ana de Armas, is the daughter of 2 assassins who are killed when she is young, and she's taken in by Winston, played by, of course, Ian McShane back in this franchise, who connects her to the director, Angelica Houston's character, in the Ruska Roma, to train her, brutal training as a ballerina and, of course, as an assassin. We get a glimpse of John Wick, just a brief glimpse of John Wick, as the events of John Wick 4 are occurring concurrently with this, and he comes to see the director, and so we're like, oh, I see a John Wick in here. And Eve is sent on vengeance against the cult, a cult which is led by the Chancellor, played by Gabriel Byrne in his most diabolical, who killed her family, but the director forbids revenge against this cult. So Eve listens and becomes an accomplished ballerina. Not really, no. Of course, she defies orders of the director and goes after this murderous cult that others are afraid to face down. There's lots of high-paced action, some interesting characters, an extended interaction with a young girl that Eve sees herself in, and some fights that I don't remember ever seeing before. And that's one of the hallmarks of the John Wick franchise. I feel like every movie, they give you a set piece or a fight that you're like, wow, I've never seen a...
Yeah.
In John Wick 3, I've never seen a book used to kill somebody.
Something
I've never used a
different.
horse. This time, had asked myself, have I ever seen a flamethrower shootout before?
Oh,
I
wow.
don't think I have.
Okay.
But now I have. We also, some fun characters. Norman Reedus is in this movie for a brief moment. The late Lance Reddick, who passed away during the making of John Wick 4, is in this movie.
Is he really?
It's been
Okay.
several years since we lost Lance Reddick. That was nice
Wow.
to see. And of course, excuse me, Keanu Reeves returns as John Wick. You see it in the trailers. There's some interesting things. I love the idea of an entire village being trained cult members. There's the final third of the movie happens in this winter village where everyone that lives there is a cult member trained in some sort of fighting technique. It gives us a Gymkhana style feel as everyone's pouring out of windows fighting. It's a fine action flick. I feel like it lives on its connection to John Wick and showing him in the trailers and letting you know, don't worry, John Wick's going to be in this movie. He's going to do some fighting. And I think if that connection is removed and it's just Ana de Armas, the Ballerina movie, it's a much less impactful movie. This is streaming on Netflix. It's no better than the Old Guard, Charlize Theron's movie. Like, the second half is filled with fun fight choreography, and it looks good, and it's shot beautifully. I also really struggle to believe that a woman of Ana de Armas' stature is just throwing grown men around like rag dolls, no matter what. Just throwing these people everywhere. It's tough, but
It was a training.
it was all in the training. It was all in the Ballerina. But regardless, I love the John Wick movies. It's great seeing John Wick back, and there's some really fun fight choreography. And so for all of that, I give the Ballerina 3.5 stars.
Okay.
Far from one of the great John Wick movies, but worth it, I guess.
Will there be a sequel?
I believe there will be.
There will be.
They're not going to stop making. They don't stop making movies of anything.
Okay.
It made money, so why not make 5 more? Yeah. Stay tuned.
Well, there's going to be another John Wick, right?
It has to be.
Okay.
I mean, Ana de Armas, once she's done being Wonder Woman, is going to probably come back to being the Ballerina again.
She's going to be under Wonder Woman?
That's what I heard. That rumor on the street. Sorry, did I break some news? That's
You
what I
must
heard.
have the inside track on that stuff. I
got
never
it.
heard that.
People on the street are talking.
Okay.
All right. You saw a movie I didn't get to. What do you
Yeah,
have?
I think we're going to talk about Life of Chuck,
Sure.
directed by Mike Flanagan, based on the novella of the same name by Stephen King, who included it in his 2020 book called If It Bleeds. And this movie is split into 3 acts, which are in reverse chronological order. And the first act shows what looks to be the final moments of the universe, of the world, with natural disasters occurring all over the world. There's power loss, the internet's down, it's not coming back. And,
sounds horrible.
And the act's main character, who's a teacher, Marty Anderson, played by, and I'm going to butcher this, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
There you go.
Yeah.
What Jamison said. He's a teacher. He's baffled, and he sees all this happening around him, but he's also baffled that in the midst of all these apocalyptic events, there's this constant appearance of billboards and advertisements congratulating this accountant by the name of Chuck Krantz for 39 great years. Act 2 focuses on Chuck, played by Tom Hiddleston. It's primarily an act that has him walking outside in this community while attending a banking conference. All I'm going to say about this act is it includes one of the all-time great dance sequences in movie history. It doesn't make any sense.
That's high. That's a.
But I kid you not.
Really?
It's just fantastic. Act 3 features Chuck as a child. He's played by 3 different actors, including Jacob Tremblay, who I think was in
sure.
Room.
Yes.
Chuck lives with his grandparents. After his parents were killed in a car accident, the grandparents are played by the always great Mark Hamill and Mia Sara, who I didn't realize.
Oh, yes.
Didn't realize this. I last saw her in 1986 as the girlfriend in Ferris Bueller.
Sloane Ketterman.
Oh, wow. So that's all I'm going to say about this movie because I don't want to give anything away. And if it all sounds a bit too odd or too different for you, don't think that. Go see it, but pay attention because you got to pay attention to what's being shown. You got to pay attention to what's being said. You got to stick with it to understand what Stephen King's trying to get across with this story. It's not your typical Stephen King movie. It's not It. It's not The Shining. It's more like
those.
It's more like The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, I prefer Stephen King when he's just
Stand
kinda,
By Me.
Yes, those are his best.
Yeah, there's a little bit of science fiction or fantasy in it. It revolves around the phrase, I contain multitudes, from the Walt Whitman poem, Song of Myself. It's about life, the choices we make in our lives. It does have a few faults. I mean, I wish there would have been more of Tom Hiddleston. I love him. He's a great actor. Normally, I'm not a fan of narration from someone who has really nothing to do with the story.
Okay.
Nick Offerman offers, he's the folksy narrator in this.
Okay.
That made it a little bit more acceptable. But this is something that it really stuck with me afterwards. I still am thinking about this movie. I want to see it again because I know I missed things that I didn't see the first time around. And this is one of those that it's still showing, but go see it because I'm afraid it's going to disappear pretty quickly and go by unnoticed.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we are in big summer movie season now, but wow, that sounds really interesting, and that cast is phenomenal.
Yeah. Thought
The return of Mia Sara.
I know. Because when I saw her, I thought, boy, she looks familiar. And then I looked it up afterwards. I thought, oh my gosh, from Ferris Bueller.
Love it.
Yeah.
Married to Mark Hamill in this movie, huh?
Yeah.
Two of my heartthrobs growing
Play
up.
the grandparents.
Wow, this sounds really interesting. I'm kind of sad I missed it. I might have to go check this out. Add it to my list. What did you end up giving Life of Chuck?
4.5 stars. I mean, this could end up on my best 2025 list.
That's a good
Definitely.
Score.
Yeah.
Healthy score. All right. I am definitely going to add that on your recommendation. I'll go see that myself. One of the movies I did see, I believe you saw as well, is the new Wes Anderson film, The Phoenician Scheme, the Wes Anderson's espionage comedy set in the 1950s. An arms dealer and industrialist named Zsa Zsa Corda, played by Benicio del Toro, once again has survived another assassination attempt and another plane crash. And this time he sees the light that he needs to mend his relationship with his daughter and finish his one last big scheme. So he lures his estranged daughter, Lizelle, played by Mia Thrippleton, out of the convent that he's put her in and puts her in charge of his business as they set out together alongside Bjorn, an entomologist played by Michael Cera, new to the troupe here, to overhaul the infrastructure of Phoenicia using slave labor. However, of course, other governments are resistant and competing elements are trying to slow him. So, Zsa Zsa and company must travel to meet various business owners and heads of state to deceive and swindle them into doing what he needs them to do. It's a convoluted movie, as Wes Anderson movies go.
That's putting it kindly.
I'm a huge fan of Wes Anderson's
Yeah,
style.
I know you are.
And I get that it's a take it or leave it for many people with him. I feel like this was his most dry film that he's made. It's filled with fun characters, absurd circumstances. I mean, he brings his troupe of actors from movie to movie and kind of adds one every time. This time Michael Cera was the new guy. I had a hard time explaining this to someone who was asking me about it. Like, so what's that movie about? And it's tough to explain. I'll say this. I mean, among this cast, Scarlett Johansson, Jeffrey Wright, who I love, Riz Ahmed, Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks are in this movie as a couple of brothers who I could watch them play basketball for a half hour because I really enjoyed watching these two guys play basketball together.
Oh, boy.
You have a look on your face that says you did not enjoy your experience.
While watching the film, I did a lot of this.
That's a disapproving face.
I just don't get. I know you're a big Wes Anderson guy. I don't get Wes Anderson. Out of all the Wes Anderson films I've seen, and I haven't seen all of them, this one was the most Wes Anderson-y.
He just gets more and more Wes Anderson with every movie.
He's got this style. It just gets tiring after a while. And I mean, my favorite Wes Anderson film is Moonrise Kingdom.
Sure, that's a great one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
And Rushmore is second. I know you loved Asteroid City.
Yeah.
I did not. This was confusing. It was boring. I lost interest. It wasn't funny. Yeah, I did chuckle a few times at what Michael Cera did. Here's what drives me crazy about Wes Anderson. He loads up his films with all these great stars.
Sure.
I mean, you can see it on the poster there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of them. He advertises that, and then they're only in the film for a brief time.
That's kind of what they all sign up for, though. They all like, I want to be in your next movie. I don't care. Bill Murray's like, I don't care if I'm in a blink and you miss it moment.
Well, yeah, Bill Murray's in it for what, a minute maybe?
Maybe.
Scarlett Johansson's in it for maybe a few minutes?
Yeah.
I feel like these characters are specifically made up so that they can just get big names like Tom Hanks or Bryan
But that's the
Cranston
thing
or
is
Willem Dafoe.
he doesn't have to recruit them. They come knocking on his door.
I mean, we'll put this character in there and Tom can play that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know critics go crazy over this stuff. I thought I was watching a bunch of different sketches crammed into a feature-length film. I really did. I mean, the only bright spot in this movie was Mia Threepleton, who I've
great.
never really seen before. I don't think I've seen her before.
No, she doesn't stand out.
She played Sister Liesel. I didn't even know she's the daughter of Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
I thought she was pretty good in this, but other than that,
I like the addition of Michael Cera. I
he
think
was okay.
He fits this. You could almost say he was Bjorn for this role. I like this dark comedy. I like how
is it a dark comedy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he tackles espionage, family dynamics, capitalism. I love Benicio del Toro in this. And am I upset that I have yet another film from a director that I love that kind of feeds directly into what I love about them? Not at all. I love it. Keep them coming. Keep finding weird little contraptions and pseudo-steampunk inventions for his characters to handle. Frame it beautifully and symmetrically. I'm in. I enjoy it. And I kind of like that there's movies. You're not the first person I've talked to. In fact, a lot of people, surprisingly, when this came out, were telling me, yeah, I didn't like Asteroid City. And it feels like for a lot of people, that was the dropping off point for people who stay with Wes Anderson and people who drop off. And I don't know what it is about Asteroid City that was kind of the line of the delineation for a lot of people. And I feel like this one then just pushed that a little further beyond all that. And I'm with them. I'm on the train.
Okay. Not me.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next one. Eventually, I'm going to be in the cast. They're going to get so many people, they're going to need more.
Well, yeah, and you'll be in it for a minute.
A brief second, that's all I need. All right, what did you end up giving the Phoenician scheme?
I gave it a very generous 2 stars. I mean, 1 star for Mia Threepleton and 1 for Michael Cera.
Oh, man.
That's it.
Yeah, we are far apart on this one. I gave a Phoenician scheme 4 stars. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I like these.
I was expecting that.
I went back and rewatched Bottle Rocket the other day. I have not seen that,
That was
in
his
100
first
years.
one, yeah.
Yeah. I think
That's a good one.
That was the last time I liked Owen Wilson, too.
It just seems though he's been getting quirkier each film.
He's unchecked. His
Yeah.
power is unchecked. I love it. All right, let's move on to, well, you know what? You have another animated movie.
Yeah,
for us?
why do I get all the kids' films?
I don't know. You like them.
I guess.
What do we have next?
How to Train Your Dragon, directed by Dean DeBlois, who
I suppose this isn't an animated movie. I'm sorry.
who co-directed the original Lilo and Stitch, and he did the 3 How to Train Your Dragon animated features. And this is another live-action remake of the 2010 film. This is also, I think, DreamWorks' first venture into live-action remakes.
They're like, wow, Disney's been so successful with theirs.
We're gonna try it. So the film introduces us to Hiccup, played by Mason Thames,
Yep.
who lives in the Viking village of Berk, and that village is frequently attacked by dragons. Hiccup is the son of Stoic the Vast, the head of the village, played by Gerard Butler, who reprises his role from the animated films. Hiccup desperately wants to kill a dragon to win the favor of his father, and during a raid by the dragons, he believes that he shot down a rare dragon called a Night Fury with a contraption that he invented. He goes out to search for the dragon to kill it, but when he sees that the dragon's hurt, he is helpless. He helps the dragon, and guess what? They become friends, and he names the dragon Toothless. And Stitch is cute. Toothless is really cute.
Yeah.
While Stoic goes off with his army to try to find the dragon's nest to destroy it, Hiccup enrolls with a dragon fighting class with a ragtag group of youthful dragon fighting wannabes led by Astrid, played by Nico Parker, who Hiccup has a crush on. Hiccup's ulterior motive, though, is to use this class to try to convince the village that the dragons are not the enemy. They're our friends, and that we all share a common enemy. So I didn't see any of the original animated features,
Yeah.
including the first one. And so I have really nothing to compare this to. From what I've read, there's not a lot of differences between this and the
Very
original
little.
film.
Yeah.
Because I don't think DeBlois, the director, really wanted to rock the boat.
It was the movie he made already. So
Yeah,
he's like, I know how to make
you
this.
can tell he has a real affection for this film, for this story, that he has a real love for the franchise. I mean, compared to some of the past Disney live-action remakes that I have seen, and not including Stitch, this is superior.
Yeah. So the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy are some of my favorite animated movies. It's a great trilogy beginning to end. It's been a
Okay.
while since I saw the first one, but I love those movies. And so again, I'm left wondering, and they're not 15 years old is the oldest one. They still hold up. They still look great. The animation isn't dated. There's nothing problematic about it. So I'm going, well, so why do we have to remake it? Into like, are you going to make it better? And one of the things that I loved the most that stood out with the first film was the texture of the dragons. Like the animation looked phenomenal, and so that carried over, I thought, into this movie.
Yes. Well, I can't say yes, 'cause I didn't see the first
But
one,
I
but
mean,
I thought the dragons looked great.
The dragons look great. The
Yeah,
interactions with the
they do.
dragons look great. I thought the casting was great. Almost every character was really like a spot-on choice for the actor playing an animated character. All except for one of the twins, the twin girl. I didn't quite get, but I really
Well,
appreciate.
Gerard Butler looked like he was having a good time doing this.
Yes, I mean he just gets to be.
Yeah.
He gets to be his guy from 300, just big and
Well,
Scottish.
it's fun to see him in something other than a B-movie action film.
Yes, absolutely. Just like in the original, the father-son story got me with a little hiccup in my throat. Always does. It basically followed the original. But you know what? As fun as I thought this was, I would still rather watch the animated film. I think you
Okay.
can just do more with it. It's a solid story, but unlike a movie I'm about to discuss in a little bit, there's a complete lack of creativity when you're just remaking a movie that you just made. Right? I mean, you're the director with like, I'm just going to remake this. It is just, we're making this to make money. We're doing this because we watch what Disney's doing. And that kind of frustrates me when you've shown that you have a really creative talent as a director, as a filmmaker, when you're just like, I'm just going to make the same movie I've already made and was successful. So I'm glad it didn't detract from the original, and I walked out really satisfied with what we got. Great job of the animators and the effects department with the dragons. And I don't know. I'm left kind of twisted on this one.
Well, it does drag a bit. I mean, it is a little over 2 hours long. I did like the interactions between Hiccup and Astrid.
Yeah.
And there's an actor by the name of Nick Frost who plays Gobbler, the blacksmith, who teaches the kids in the dragon fighting class.
Yeah.
He's pretty funny in this.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Frost is great. He and Simon Pegg made all those movies that were great together.
Yeah. But will I ever see this again? Probably not.
Right.
And are there going to be live-action remakes of the other two?
Probably.
Yeah. I can almost bet there will be.
Absolutely. I mean,
know.
DreamWorks loves making sequels as much as anyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have any issue with that.
Yeah. What did you end up giving How to Train Your Dragon?
I mean, I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, I was really torn on this. Like, I enjoyed it. Part of me was kind of just disgusted by it going in. Just like, I was also relieved that it was good and it wasn't terrible, and made me, by proxy, kind of maybe drop my feelings on the original. So I ended up giving it 3 stars as well.
Okay.
It's good. It's fun. I think the family would enjoy this one just as much as they would enjoy the animated one. It's basically the same movie. All right. Speaking of sequels, I have one that I just got to see yesterday. As we were filming, this movie just came out. It is 28 years later. The new zombie movie brings back the creative team from the first one, 28 Days Later, which came out 23 years ago. Directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. It's been 18 years since the sequel. Days have become weeks, weeks have become years, and it's a franchise that changed the genre with the first movie, including fast zombies, rage zombies. I mean, this changed what zombie movies could be with the first one. And it's a franchise that really stands out, has some tremendous stars in them. Cillian Murphy starred in the first one.
Did he
Jeremy
really?
Renner and Rose Byrne were in the second
Wow,
one.
okay.
I mean, in this one, we have Aaron Taylor Johnson as Jamie. This one kind of changes things up again. So 28 years later, the quarantine zone is in effect, and a village of survivors have built a new life on an island separated from the mainland in the UK. It's separated by a causeway that's only available during low tide. They've survived thanks to strict rules and a really remote location, and they're really living like medieval ages, medieval times. One of the leaders, Jamie Aaron Taylor Johnson, has a son, Spike, who's played by Alfie Williams. Spike is, I believe, 15. He's taking Spike on his quest to become a man. And they are venturing off to the mainland to get his first zombie kills. And it's kind of the big thing in the tribe. And the village turns out to wish him well. Jamie's wife, played by
It's like How to Train Your Dragon.
Very much so.
Yeah, okay.
Jamie's wife, Isla, is played by Jodie Comer, is suffering from some unknown illness that is keeping her bedridden and facing bouts of dementia. And so father and son go out into the scary world facing zombies of all types until they are met by the all-powerful Alpha, a zombie type that is smarter, stronger, and more filled with rage. And father and son are lucky to survive their first encounter with this one, and Spike returns home with a new knowledge of the world, a lot of questions, and open eyes to what becoming a man entails. This film left me with a lot of questions at the end of it, purposely. Part of that is because it's not a simple zombie movie. It's far from a regular zombie movie. It's a journey of a young man in a dangerous world dealing with a lot of confusion. You see him at the beginning packing his supplies to go on this mission to become a man, and his pocket knife and his bow and arrow, and then he grabs his Power Ranger off his side table and goes to put it in his bag, and then you see him realize this is not a time for childish things, puts the Power Ranger back. I got to go kill zombies. There's good tension. There's great interaction between father and son, and then son and mother. Wonderful writing. Danny Boyle's unique style of visual storytelling that can really get confusing at times. And I really appreciate how he, as a filmmaker, wastes no frames. Like, there is nothing wasted in this movie. The visuals in this movie, like, it opens, the first thing you see is a grainy VHS version of the Teletubbies being played on a TV. And you're like, what am I about to expect here? Watching like 20 seconds of Teletubbies. And one of the most chilling things in this movie, and it was in many of the trailers, was Danny Boyle uses this 1915 recording of the Rudyard Kipling really haunting poem Boots, about the psychotics of war and how men can lose themselves just marching endlessly. And it's played underneath the imagery of death and destruction. And it is terrifyingly chilling as this happens. And there's also a really wonderful surprise character in the final third of this movie that I don't want to spoil because he was really held out of almost all the trailers and everything. And so you might know who it is, but an Academy Award nominated actor that you and I both really love is in this movie.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And
I won't bring it up.
And the final minutes left me filled with questions, like right up until the final 2 minutes of the movie. Things were introduced that left me filled with questions that demand that we get another film that I'm really hoping for, and I hope I don't have to wait 18 years to get it. And, this movie does also take place somewhere up in the northern UK, much like I felt with How to Train Your Dragon. There's some real thick accents that I really, on rewatch, will need subtitles for, because I don't think I caught everything that was being said in this movie, but I was blown away by it. This is not a movie for you.
No.
I thought about this as I'm watching it because I know how much you like Jodie Comer.
Yes, I do.
And
she was in The Bike Riders,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's shot so beautifully, but yes, not your movie because it is brutal in parts.
Is it really?
Really grotesque in parts. Yeah, of course. It's a great zombie movie.
No.
But I feel like as much as the first one changed what we thought of zombies, this one changed what a zombie movie can be, where it's not just The Walking Dead running around chasing, shooting zombies in the head and moving on, but it's much more of a story about family, and it left me wanting to go see it again.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a high recommend for me. I've been hedging. I just saw it yesterday. I've been thinking about it for the last 24 hours. I'm hedging between a 4.5 and 4 stars.
Wow.
When I'm hedging, I always go with the lower score, so I give it an incredibly strong 4 stars.
Okay.
Maybe on rewatch it'll be 4.5, but yeah, this is one of the more impactful movies I've seen in a while.
Wow.
So,
okay.
don't go check it out.
No, I'm not going to.
Everyone else, go check it out.
I am not going to see it.
All right, we have one last movie to review, and it is yours, sir. What do you have for us?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Materialists. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to see this is because it's directed by Celine Song, who directed one of my favorite films of 2023, and I think it was also one of yours, Past Lives.
Yes, loved it.
Yeah, and like Past Lives, Materialists centers around a woman and two men who each want to have that woman in their lives. And the woman is Lucy. She is a professional matchmaker played by Dakota Johnson, who pairs couples up by doing the math and measures success by the number of marriages that result from her work. She herself is unattached. Her one requirement for a mate is that he is very, very rich. She finds her potential soulmate at the wedding of a couple that she matched up, and he's wealthy financier Harry, played by Pedro Pascal. And Harry is what is known as a unicorn by the matchmaking business. He's a perfect guy who checks off all the boxes. At the same event, Lucy's served by a waiter who, guess what, turns out to be her ex-boyfriend, John.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there's a real meet-cute moment for you. Played by Chris Evans. John's a struggling actor who still has a thing for Lucy, but knows that it's probably not meant to be because they broke up over money, which he still doesn't have. And while Lucy dates Harry and at the same time tries to sort out whatever feelings she may have for John, the plot does take kind of a weird, dark turn and becomes something, and I'm not being facetious about it, it becomes something akin to an episode of Law & Order Special Victims Unit. It's a twist that also has Lucy rethink her career path and her life. Now, I love Past Lives. Great movie. And I was really, really looking forward to this because of Celine's song. Unfortunately, this is not Past Lives.
Yeah.
Not even close. This movie is astonishingly being marketed as a romantic comedy. It's far from that. It's more of a romantic drama. I mean, I rooted for two of the characters in Past Lives to get together. I didn't root for anybody in this one.
Oh, no.
I mean, I just didn't care about them.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in them. The authenticity that was part of Past Lives is not present here. The plot twist I mentioned does not fit in with the rest of the story. The Pedro Pascal character was a little bit too debonair for me. And the reuniting of John and Lucy, I thought, come on, you know. He's a waiter at this wedding in New York where she's at. Okay. And I'm sorry, I may turn off a few viewers here, but I'm not a fan of Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, there's two of us on this panel.
Yeah, I thought her performance was the weakest of the three. I mean, to me, the best part of the movie was the performance of Chris Evans. I mean, he came off as the most believable of the trio. He does show off his dramatic acting chops here.
I will say, Dakota Johnson is one thing that kept me from rushing out to see this because I struggle with her as an actress. Past Lives was so well written and really smart, and it feels like this one is a watered down version of that in your review.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it just doesn't seem as authentic. It's not as, you know, like you say, smart as Past Lives. And so I was disappointed.
What does your disappointment land for a score?
Yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars.
Yeah.
I was pretty much emotionally invested in Past Lives.
Yes.
I was not invested in this one at all.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Well, there we go. 8 movie reviews for you this week. We packed them all in.
Busy month.
Busy month. Now, coming in the next few weeks, probably for our next episode, we have films such as F1, the new Formula One film with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I know you're rushing out to see Megan 2.0. You love killer dolls. Jurassic World Rebirth, Superman, Sovereign, Eddington. I know what you did last summer. There's a lot of movies coming out in the next 4 weeks.
Well, Eddington's an Ari Aster movie, right?
It is,
and
yes.
I've never seen one of his, but
I think you can do this one.
I think I can do this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, based on the trailer.
I'm excited for a lot of these movies we're going to be talking about on our next episode.
And Superman because of Superdog.
You're all about crypto, huh? All right. Well, I guess tune in on our next episode sometime next month where we'll be talking about all these movies and giving you thumbs up, thumbs down, or what have you. But until that time, I want to thank you all for joining us. Mr. Sabaki, thank you for your wonderful reviews this week.
Thank you.
Well done. All right. Well, until next episode, I'm Jamison.
And I'm Steve.
Have a great summer.